There is a particular type or a particular kind of pain that doesn't just come from one moment. It comes from many. Not a single car crash or not a single assault. Not one catastrophic event. But years of unpredictability. Years of walking on eggshells. Years of never fully exhaling. CPTSD, or complex post traumatic stress disorder, is like facing a starving lion who savagely rips you apart, but you survive each attack just to be attacked again and again and again until your nervous system forgets what actual safety feels like. CPTSD isn't who you are, it's what's happened to you. And healing doesn't start with fixing yourself. It starts with understanding what your body has been trying to survive. So, what is CPTSD? CPTSD stands for Complex Post Traumatic Stress Disorder. It usually forms from prolonged trauma, especially relational trauma, childhood emotional neglect, chronic criticism, unstable caregivers, abuse that didn't really have a clear beginning or a clear end. When trauma is ongoing, the nervous system doesn't really get a chance to process it or to reset. It adapts, it becomes hyper alert, or it shuts down completely, or it swings between both. CPTSD is less about flashbacks to one single event and more about living in a body that expects danger all the time, even in safe spaces or when it should feel safe. Symptom 1: a yearning for connection while also being terrified of it. This one confuses people because you crave closeness, but when someone gets too close, your system will panic because intimacy once meant unpredictability or betrayal or humiliation. So you might overshare too quickly and then disappear, attach really, really intensely and then withdraw, or feel just lonely in good relationships. You could push away people who feel technically safe. Your body wants connection, but your trauma associates connection with risk. And this is like a tug of war that can be exhausting. Symptom 2: hypervigilance. And it's hypervigilance, not paranoia. It's you scanning for danger. You notice tone shifts before the words. You detect micro expressions. You feel tension in a room instantly. This was once adaptive. When your environment wasn't stable, noticing early meant surviving. It paid off. But now you're facing normal life like it's a starving lion. A raised voice can feel catastrophic. A delayed text feels threatening. A neutral facial expression feels like rejection. This is your nervous system being overtrained. Symptom 3: emotional flashbacks. Not visual flashbacks, but emotional ones. These sudden waves of shame, a collapse into worthlessness without an obvious trigger. And it doesn't come from the present moment. It's your body remembering how it had to feel to survive, or how it had to once feel to survive. CPTSD often means you don't just remember the trauma, you relive its full emotional stack again and again. Symptom 4: chronic shame. Like guilt says, I did something wrong, but shame says, I am something wrong. And CPTSD often wires shame to identity. Because when trauma is relational, especially in childhood, the brain assumes if the people who were supposed to protect me hurt me, it must be because I'm flawed. That belief alone can seep deep and lie underground, under your skin, in your bones. But it's the thing that drives things like perfectionism, people pleasing, self sabotage, isolation. Symptom 5, emotional dysregulation. Your reactions feel too big or too absent. You might cry easily or feel numb for weeks or explode in ways that don't match the situation, all of which are signs of a nervous system that never got consistent safety. Healing from CPTSD isn't learning to suppress emotion. It's learning that joy won't be punished, that calm won't be interrupted, that rest won't completely revoke. You're not healing to handle trauma. You handle trauma already. You're healing to handle peace. That's the secret. Symptom 6, disassociation or spacing out, losing time, feeling unreal. If reality once overwhelmed you, your brain learned to leave. Disassociation is sometimes just the feeling of being disconnected from your own body or your own life, your own person. It's a silent scream inside a quiet face. Symptom 7, difficulty trusting yourself. You second guess your own instincts all the time. You rehearse conversations. You wonder if you might have been too sensitive. When your reality was invalidated repeatedly, you learn to outsource your certainty. CPTSD can look like chronic self-doubt, even when you're actually correct or right in a situation. Now the healing. Healing is slow nervous system work. It's learning to sit in a calm room without bracing for impact. It's allowing joy without waiting for punishment. It's realizing that CPTSD isn't your personality. It's just your body's record of what it's endured, of what you've endured. And your body's scream, your body's silent scream becomes quieter when it's finally heard. And this isn't you trying to erase the past. You are trying to teach your nervous system that the jungle is not here anymore, that the lion isn't in the room any longer, that connection doesn't automatically mean harm, and that safety is allowed. If you recognize yourself in some or any of this, it's okay. Just pause for a second, not to diagnose or not to spiral, but just to understand. You survived something that trained your body to stay alert. And that survival deserves respect. But you are not required to live in survival mode forever. Healing from CPTSD feels like learning to breathe in a room that once tried to drown you. It's not fast, it's not linear. But it begins the moment you realize that this isn't who I am. It's simply what happened to me. And what happened to you does not get the final word. Or should not get the final word. My name is John. You're welcome to be here. And you're more than welcome to stay here.